It's been amazing to see the NFC West just dominate out of the division. Look at this. All four teams above 500, combined 19-8. Get this, tied for the second best win percentage of any division through Week 7 since the 1970 merger. 5-1 Seahawks lead the way. They're minus $120 odds-on favorite in the division, but the quote-unquote long shot only plus 650 because the Niners sitting there at 4-3. Back with Tyler and Joe here. See any value on anyone on the board?
Yeah, I think any of these four teams can win the division. So all three that get plus value right now seem like good bets to me. And why not just look at the defending division champion San Francisco 49ers there at plus 650. They've been really impressive the last few weeks, despite all the injuries that they've been dealing with and hammering the Patriots, getting that win at home against the Rams in division. That will be obviously oh so crucial. According to Football Outsiders DVOA, all four of these teams are top 11 in the NFL in total DVOA, but only one has a top 10 defensive and offensive unit, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. They'll get healthier as the season goes on. I think they're a good value, the best bet, so to speak, based on those odds.
On those four teams. Look, I was interested in the Niners going into the season. I laid 325 to make the playoffs in terms of the yes-no. Worried about the defensive line injuries because we had Dan Orlovsky on the show a couple weeks ago. When Bosa went down, that kind of throws off their entire scheme. You have to get pressure on the quarterback. Now, that's pretty much the approach of every single team in the NFL, to slow down these high-powered offenses that everyone seemingly has. But if you can't get pressure with a guy like Bosa, that was the focal point of their defense last year, which made them so dominant. So I'm just reluctant. I think it could be a kind of inferior opponent thing that made them look so good. Sure. But this Sunday obviously will tell us a lot. If they can go to Seattle and get the win, then we're like, hey, they're pretty good. Because I think Shanahan's probably the best coach in the division. So I'm in that camp as well. Let's bring in Preston Johnson. All right, Seattle a home favorite here. Basically 3 consensus. Is the line too short for maybe we're misreading the Seahawks after that collapse in the fourth quarter on Sunday?
I guess so. It's just like a classic overreaction. Now, the 49ers deserve credit for blasting not only the Patriots, but the Rams the week prior, and they are getting healthier. But look, Seattle's still a much better team, in my opinion, and I think they kind of get a bad reputation for their defense. Look, they're still top 20 defensively in EPA. They're top 10 against the run, and they've done that without Jamal Adams for the majority of the season, who's been out since week 3 and is questionable and may return this week, which would be a nice bonus. They just traded for Carlos Dunlap to help shore up the defensive line some. And guess what? The 49ers, where Seattle's been beat, has been through the air. Teams that can throw all over them. We know the 49ers and Jimmy G aren't going to air it out 40 to 50 times. So I think the matchup sets up, it's pretty conducive to a Seattle win. And if you want to say Seattle's injured because, Chris Carson, Carlos Hyde, the running game is all right, let Russell Wilson throw 70 times. That's fine with me. I think you can get minus 2.5 even in the market for a relatively cheap price. I still like minus 3 plus 100. That's a game I've bet and I will be on, going forward. Hopefully it stays in that range for Sunday. But I like Seattle.
Along the lines of overreaction, they were up 10 in the fourth. They gave up a field goal with about 3 minutes to go.
The penalty.
If the guy doesn't commit the 15. It's a 7-point game. They're getting the ball back. And Wilson, how often is he going to throw 3 picks? So we should be talking about an undefeated Seattle team, and I don't think the line would be 3 now. Is there a buy low spot here?
Absolutely. I'm with Preston. I'm laying the 3. It's one of my favorite plays this week. Nothing against the Niners. This is too big of a correction. It was a 6.5-point line. Seattle gets into a really good game with a good Arizona team, and they lose in overtime. All right, is that big of a deal? Meanwhile, the Niners go to New England. They beat the Patriots. Great win, but we're starting to realize the Patriots aren't all that great. Is that worth 3.5 points onto the key number of 3 for a game at CenturyLink? No, I don't see that. Remember something. This Niner defense struggles big time with mobile quarterbacks. Last year in 2 games against Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, they were giving up just under 25 points a game. Against everyone else, they gave up 17 points per game. No Deebo Samuel on that San Francisco offense is going to be a problem. And I think Preston was hitting on this, the idea that Jamal Adams could be back from that groin injury this week for Seattle's defense. I'll lay it with Seattle. Laying the 3 is the play.
I'm certainly not grabbing the 3 with the Niners, and it's probably going to move up closer to Sunday. I think there'll be a professional move. I would think the market will move. It's not going to go below, but Preston did say there's some 2.5s out there.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.